Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video. Just waking up. As you can tell by the kind of Super Saiyan bed hair I have. And today we're going to be doing my Andrew Cutter Picks of the Weeks, as well as news and updates. Now, for those of you that are new to my channel, know nothing about this video series. Basically, my Andrew Cutter Picks of the Weeks are where I take a look at this week in DC Comics. Then I select the comic that I enjoyed the most and declare it my Andrew Cutter Pick of the Week. Now, if at any time during this video you see a comic that you like or you want to know more about, just jump back a video or two. I already reviewed each and every single one of these in my Comic Load video, giving them scores and detailed information of them. In addition to that, I will also talk about any news or updates pertaining to the world, myself, or my channel. So without any further ado, let's get into the Andrew Cutter Picks of the Weeks. Now this was a massive week for me. I think 11 titles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. The reason why I thought it was 11 is I picked up an extra copy of Shade issue number 7, which I've already read. I don't know why it was in my pull list, but I picked it up anyway. So I have an extra issue, which is fine because Shade is really good. So this week we have Dark Knight, and all these are going to be issue number 8s. Superman, Aquaman, The Flash, The Savage Hawkman, All-Star Western, Voodoo, Blackhawks, iVampire, Justice League Dark, and rounding it out this week is Teen Titans. Like I said, this was a big week, and unlike last week had some really stellar titles on there. This week had consistency, but I wouldn't say there's any titles that blew me away, with the exception of maybe one or two. They were all consistently good or average, and nothing that really, wowed me. We have a lot of contenders actually for the Andrew Cutter Pick of the Week because there's a lot of comics that I really enjoyed. So let me just pull them out. And then we'll do a little elimination because I'm not even sure which Andrew Cutter Pick of the Week I'm going to go with. This week, these are the comics that I enjoyed the most were Aquaman, Flash, um, All-Star Western, Voodoo, and the Rise of the Vampire crossover with iVampire and Justice League Dark. If I have to think, I'd probably eliminate All-Star Western and Voodoo first. They were good, but I think I like the other three a little bit more. If I was to cut it down even more, I'd probably eliminate Aquaman because this was good, really enjoyable, but I think The Flash was a little bit better, and the combined two titles of iVampire and Justice League Dark were a little bit better. When it comes down to it, the crossover was really good, resolved pretty good. I enjoyed it. But I'm going to have to give it to The Flash yet again. What is this, like the 10th week running? Well, it can't be the 10th week. But this has to be a consistent thread with The Flash. And, if you look at my Andrew Cutter Picks of the Weeks, each week you notice that a certain title will tend to always get the Andrew Cutter Pick of the Week or get close to it. For example, week 1, Swamp Thing usually almost always takes it. Week 2, I'm not sure what takes week 2. Because I forget what's in week 2. I know in week 2 we have like Batgirl and stuff like that, but I don't know. But week 3 is usually Batman, or sometimes Wonder Woman, and week 4 is The Flash or Aquaman. So The Flash has been really good series. When I talk about the best of the New 52, Flash is up there in the top 5. I consider Batman, Swamp Thing, Flash, Wonder Woman, and I dare say Voodoo as the best of the DC New 52. Or if not Voodoo, then something like All-Star Western. Really consistently good titles that have been pushing the envelope, but not pushing it too far that we would dislike it. I really enjoyed the resolve of this issue. I like how they tied up the whole vortex, creating wormholes, and the artist is great. And I like how each issue we're going to be jumping to a different rogue. So next issue, spoiler alert, we're going to deal with Grodd, which is my personal favorite Flash villain. Which is funny enough because if you think of Gorilla Grodd, he's kind of a silly concept, a talking ape that, or talking gorilla that can use telepathy, but it actually works out pretty well. After that, I would like us to see a little Weather Wizard and Mirror Master, and hopefully the whole gang can get together and we can get the rogues going. But no, Francis Manipul and Brian, uh, I'm going to butcher his last name, Bucciatelli. Oh, they really have been pulling out some of the best stuff for DC in the Flash. So pick it up. My Andrew Cutter pick of the week. So we got some news and we got some updates. On to some comic book news, or not news, some comic book stuff. I have a few things I want to talk about comic book. I forgot about Mr. Terrific issue number 8 when it came out. I just realized it came out. This is the last issue of Mr. Terrific, and I want to talk about the series a little bit. The series on a whole was good, but it suffered in a few ways. And I think the two major ways Mr. Terrific suffered, or yeah, the two major ways Mr. Terrific suffered is, one is it was too wordy of dialogue. I think in trying to make this comic sound really smart, they suffered and made this comic just too overbearing. There was times when I was actually skipping dialogue because it was not necessary. And second is consistency in villains. There were some good ideas for villains, but they never really took the ball and ran with it. And they had some great story ideas they could have done with Kara Star, but they decided not to go with it. But that doesn't mean this was a bad series. It was a good series for what it was worth, but I wouldn't give it anything. I wouldn't give it an award. I wouldn't give it any super duper praise. I think the portrayal of Mr. Terrific was well done in this, and the last issue wraps up the series very well. And you know what makes me happy about this last issue is the spoiler. It teases that Mr. Terrific's going to be jumping onto Earth 2. It says that he will be going into the world's finest comic. So at least we're not ending our journey with Mr. Terrific. His comic may be ending, but he's still going to be around, which is what is important. Which is something that DC said that they're going to do with each of their titles that they're getting canceled. Just because they're getting canceled doesn't mean the characters aren't going to be showing up. Sergeant Rock's going to be showing up in GI Combat. OMAC's going to be showing up in Justice League International. Mr. Terrific in Earth 2. Blue Beetle and Static, don't be surprised if they jump onto Teen Titans. So each title, we've seen, even now, the Blackhawks have been crossing over with almost everyone. Blackhawks have been crossing over a lot. So it's not the end for Mr. Terrific. So it's okay with that. But yeah, do I recommend getting it in trade, his series? No, probably not, unless you get it cheap. It was good, but it wasn't, I don't think it was worth getting it in trade. Other things. So sometimes I get that itch. You know what I'm talking about. You know that itch you need to scratch, that comic book itch, and that no matter how many comics you get, you need to read more comics. I find that I am addicted to comics. Well, I mean, we know that, but I like reading comics. Long as the comic is inoffensive or atrocious, I like reading comics. So sometimes what I do is this. Sometimes I take comics that I'm not subscribed to and I put them in my box, and then casually I pick them up. For example, Fury of Firestorm. I've been reading Fury of Firestorm, but I've been reading it on the side. So I don't pick it up when it comes out. I just put it in my box and I pick up maybe a few days later or a week later, maybe even a month later. Like, for example, I have not read issue number 8. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to go put it in my box and I might pick it up a week from now, whenever I get that itch to read a comic. And I've been getting the itch a lot lately. It's a deadly thing. So I actually picked up two comic book series, two comic book titles. I read the first 3 issues for these titles, and I put the other 5 issues in my box, so they're sitting there in my box. And I'm surprised that I picked up these titles, because one of which I was actually stoically against reading. And the other I had no real interest in. So what I'm going to do real quickly here for you guys, and I don't want to take out too much time because I want to get into some talks about some other stuff. I want to talk about these titles. So let's jump into it. First and foremost, and I guess I'll start with this one because this is the one I picked up first. I picked up Red Lanterns. Now, you're probably saying, well, geez, Andrew, remember when you were talking about Red Lanterns and you said, Red Lanterns is better as a concept than as a comic. It's better to be put in something like New Guardians or Green Lantern then have its own title. It's not strong enough. It's a great concept, just not good enough for its own comic. I stand by that. I really do believe that Red Lanterns is better if it was in like New Guardians, where a Red Lantern joins a Color Spectrum team, or if they show up as consistent secondary character in Green Lantern. But I still had an itch to pick up Red Lanterns, and this is the reason why. One, red's my favorite color. Look at me. Look at my room. Look at Charizard, although he's kind of orange, so. Look at my deodorant! Red's my favorite color, so that's one reason why I like him. Two, Atrocitus, or however we want to call him, I call him A-Man. A-Man, he's actually kind of an interesting character. He's full of rage and pent-up anger, but he has a few redeeming qualities. He kind of has a tragic backstory. And they're kind of moving Red Lanterns in the direction that I think they should, in that they're not necessarily agents of rage, rather than agents of vengeance. So I picked up the first 3 issues, and from what I've read so far, I'm actually liking it so far. Now, like I said before with Mr. Terrific, Red Lanterns aren't going to win any awards. I would not be surprised if this title got canceled in the future. But it's not a bad comic. It's not as bad as I thought, or it's not as bad as the preconception that a lot of people give it. Is it the first thing that I recommend you put on your pull list? No, but like me, if you casually pick up comics on the side, this may not be a bad comic to pick up on the side. Now, for all I know, it could get shitty and shitty, but it's actually a okay comic. Okay is a key word. Ed Benz also does the art for the first few issues. I think he leaves for a bit, but I actually kind of enjoyed this. So I will be picking up Red Lanterns on the side, but I'm not going to be reviewing it because, like I said, I may not pick up issue number 4 for another month or two. It may just sit in my box. Whenever I get that itch that needs to be scratched, then I'll go get it. The second series I picked up was Captain Atom. I picked up the first 3 issues of Captain Atom. Now, the reasons why I picked up Captain Atom is this. One is it's the only Justice League book I did not get. And when I mean Justice League, you know how DC separates their comics in the Batman family, the Green Lantern family, the Superman family, the Young Justice family, the Dark, the Edge, and the Justice League. Well, out of the Justice League, the gold labels, well, the gold label right there. Out of the Justice League, the only one I didn't read was Captain Atom. So I thought, might as well give him a fair shake and pick him up. In addition to that, I kind of like Captain Atom throughout the DCU. I always thought he was a very underrated superhero that was never really given the limelight he should have been given. And he was also the inspiration of Dr. Manhattan. But that's where the big problems came in. I was worried that they were going to make him into Dr. Manhattan. Even the look is very Dr. Manhattan-ish. Captain Marvel loses the hair. He gets like a weird mohawk. He loses the boots and the gloves. And he looks very much like Dr. Manhattan. Captain Atom, as for the series itself, one thing I can say that's good about it is that he's not Dr. Manhattan. He definitely has similar powers, but he doesn't have the personality. He feels like Captain Atom. Maybe a nicer Captain Atom, because Captain Atom always, to me, kind of came off as a dick, and I liked him as a dick. I thought he should have been a jerk. A jerk with a heart. But, yeah, I like how they keep the personality of Captain Atom pretty faithful. And the stories are actually pretty interesting. The problem is with Captain Atom is it's a very slow start. It gets better with each issue, but it slowly is building. And I think that's really what is the big problem. My favorite issue so far was the third, the crossover with the Flash. And whether or not I'm going to continue picking up Captain Atom, that really determines on the next 5 issues. I'm not liking it quite as much as Red Lanterns, but I don't hate it either. It does spur my interest. But the thing with Captain Atom is what is really his niche? And I think that's one of the problems with some of the DC comics and the superhero world. Because if you look at the main Justice League, Batman fights criminals and sociopaths, basically, and psychopaths. Superman fights colorful supervillains, but a lot of colorful supervillains from space. Flash also fights a lot of colorful supervillains, but they're very scientific based. Aquaman fights very mythical individuals, along with Wonder Woman fighting very mythical Greek mythology individuals. And Green Lantern is a space cop. They all kind of have a niche. Even if you look at some of the other stuff, they have niches that hold them in. What makes Captain Atom stand out from any other schmuck? Um, I think the writing and the story will make him stand out, but what about the enemies or the rogue galleries or maybe the supporting cast? What will make him stand out is going to be the real question, and I have yet to see it come to fruition. I think he's going to be a very sci-fi book. Um, I think they should put kind of a Doctor Who like spin on him, kind of a little Doctor Who, just a little. Um, but it's not bad. It's not the strongest thing either. So I'll pick up to at least issue number 8, and after issue number 8, we'll see where it is there. So I picked up those things. Put that stuff right there. Video game news. I guess the biggest news is two things that was kind of released on the internet. Number one is that the new Super Mario Brothers 2 is coming out, a sequel to the DS game. And basically, what they're doing is they only showed screenshots, but it's going to be a little bit more akin to Super Mario 3. You get the raccoon tail, you can fly. It's going to be side scrolling. It's not going to be 3D like Super Mario 3D Land was. So that's good. That's good news. I would like a nice side scroller with Mario. See, the funny thing about Mario is this. With games like Zelda, Metroid, let me just take a gander. With games like Zelda, Metroid, Resident Evil, Sonic, you can go into some of the other games too. I'm always looking for innovation and I'm always looking for change. I'm always looking for it to evolve. One of the reasons why Skyward Sword is my favorite Zelda game is because it's changed, it evolved, it became something new. One of the reasons why Resident Evil 4 is my favorite Resident Evil game is at the time it changed, it evolved, it did something new. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, that's my favorite Sonic game. It changed, it evolved, it was something new. Although Adventure was beforehand, it was really Adventure 2 that really made things platform and jump for Sonic. Although, unfortunately, after Sonic Jump, he kind of fell. But, you know, Metroid Prime, same thing. It changed, evolved, it's new. It's not disregarding the amazement that was A Link to the Past, or Super Metroid, or Resident Evil 2. Those are still classic, great games, but I like to see evolution when it comes down to my game series. The funny thing is Mario is one of the few game series that I really don't care if it changes too much. It's like Pokemon. I'm content with Pokemon the way it is. I'm content with Mario the way it is. We can have a great Mario Galaxy 3D game, great platforming, great graphics and everything, and I'll love it. Or we can go back to the traditional Mario stuff, like side scrolling, and I'll love it. Of course, I need to put some gimmicks here and there, but I'm okay with them going back and doing side scrolling. It's great gameplay. So that is good. That's good news. Sorry, my contacts are kind of messing with me. Second thing is Kirby is getting the 20th anniversary special treatment. We saw this with Zelda. We saw this with Mario. I guess we're not getting it with Metroid. But we're getting it with a good little pink fuzzball, or I don't know if we can call him a fuzzball, but we're getting it with Kirby. Which this is a very good thing in general and also for me personally, and I'll explain why. Um, One is that the 20th anniversaries or the 25th anniversaries for Mario and Zelda was great. Maybe I'm being a little biased here. I thought the Zelda one had a little bit more going for it. They went a little crazy with the Zelda, but Mario was great too. And this is going to take about 5 minutes for me to explain, so get ready. The reasons why this is great for Kirby is one, like I said, the Mario had the Mario All Star edition for the Wii, and it also came with the soundtrack music, which was great. Zelda did a little bit more. It had the symphony orchestra. It had Skyward Sword. It had the Four Swords free download. Ocarina of Time 3D. and then it also had the music that came with. So that was great. So this gives Kirby a chance to have some great stuff come out. And I'll talk about the game in a bit. Um, the game itself is going to be a compilation game with, I think, are great. If you look at some of the best compilation games out there, allow me to explain why they're so good. Um, the Zelda Collector's Edition, Mario All Stars, Samurai Showdown Anthology, Sonic the Mega Collection slash Gem Collection. I know there's more. I need to look at it just so that I know. But oh, King of Fighter: The Orochi Saga. Compilations collections are great for new gamers and old gamers because it gives new gamers a chance to play the older games and not have to go and buy the older systems and play them. And it gives older gamers a chance for that nostalgia trip or to pick up on a game that they might have missed. For example, uh, Majora's Mask. I didn't get to play it until GameCube. But when it came out on the collector's edition, I picked that bad boy up. And the reason why I couldn't play it on the N64 is I didn't have the expansion thing. Uh, Sonic the Gem Collections had Sonic CD, which I was in desperate need of. It had Sonic 1 through like 3 on the regular collection. Mario All Star has 4 games on it. Samurai Showdown Anthology has 6 games on it. The Orochi Saga for King of Fighter has what, 5 games? I forget. I think it's 5 games. You're getting that amount of value in one disc, which is great. So it's great that Kirby's going to get that because we're going to get some of our favorite Kirby games. I think it's going to be like Kirby, Dreamland, Kirby Adventure, which is also Nightmare in Dreamland. I think it'll be like Kirby, the Super Nintendo one, the Golden Star Saga, whatever it's called. So I think this is going to be a chance for us to pick up some great Kirby games. And now, for me personally, this is a good thing. And I guess I'm doing this under 5 minutes. For me personally, this is a good thing because although I played some of the original Kirby games, I've never been a Kirby collector. I like him, but I never actually went on my way to collect his stuff. The only Kirby games that I've played is Kirby 1 for the Game Boy, and then Kirby Epic Yarn and Kirby Return to Dreamland. I only own Kirby Epic Yarn and Return to Dreamland. So this compilation will allow me to actually jump into the Kirby games. And I really hope that not only does this have a good collection of Kirby games, at least 4 Kirby games, at the very minimum 4. I think this also would be great to have like a CD, similar to how Zelda and Mario did, and have like the music available. Yeah, that would be a good thing. So that's, again, my contact is all screwy. I don't know why it's doing this. Maybe I need to put some new ones in. Uh, so I think this is a great thing for Kirby, and I think this is a great thing for fans. It's going to be on the Wii. Check out your news. They didn't announce what games are going to be on it yet, but I think it's great. I'm so happy. Uh, I think they should have done this with Metroid, but I'm a little bit more leaning them doing it for Kirby because I have every Metroid game on its respective system. I have Metroid on Super Nintendo. I have it on the Game Boy. I have it on the Wii. I have it for its respected system. So I don't have every Kirby game. I had a chance to pick up Kirby 1 for $10 at my comic store, but when I went back there, it was gone. Yeah. Any other news or updates? Brock Lesnar has been doing a really good job at being a really bad guy. And we're talking about wrestling now. We'll step into the world of wrestling. I've been talking a lot. Sorry. I've been talking a lot of wrestling lately, mostly because my love for wrestling has been rejuvenated, injection of adrenaline because the return of The Rock was fantastic, and then the return of Brock Lesnar is exciting. Basically, Brock Lesnar has been really looking like a bad guy. The only complaint I've had with Brock Lesnar is the fact that the contract signing was a little anticlimactic between him and Cena, um, which it really didn't need to be anything amazing. I think people are gonna. I think Cena versus Brock Lesnar is gonna put some asses in the seat, but I really think they should have saved Cena and Brock Lesnar for later down the line, like at WrestleMania. That's just me. I don't think they should have promoted it like Rock and Cena, where it's like a year in advance we know the match is going to happen. But have Brock Lesnar tear through like CM Punk, tear through Randy Orton, have dream matches between people that, Brock Lesnar couldn't have beforehand. And then eventually it comes down to him and Cena. And then him and Cena at WrestleMania. I think that would have been great. Um, I don't think that's going to happen, though. Cena and him are going to finish this stuff. I know Brock Lesnar they're considering him fighting against Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Funny thing is this Friday, last Thursday, actually a week ago to this day, was my birthday. But this Friday, I'm actually celebrating it with my friends. And I'm celebrating it over my fiance's house. And, my fiance is amazing. She does a lot of good for me. And I just love her. And look, she even for my Valentine's Day gift gave me a picture of her when she was doing the Miss Massachusetts pageant. Very nice. I like that bikini. But she is really good to me, and she is really nice to me. So she's hosting the party at her house because my dad doesn't want it at my house because he has something else going on. But what's interesting is I actually sat down with my friend, and you know what I said to him? You know what we should do? We should sit down and make a WWE draft and do one person at Raw and one person at SmackDown, and we simulate a year in real time. So I get Raw and he gets SmackDown, and we only get 3 CAWs and then the rest of the roster. And basically, what we do is we'll sit down and we'll draft 10 superstars and then we'll lottery the rest of them. And we will, in real time, do a WWE universe. And it's kind of funny because if you're a wrestling fan, I won't talk about wrestling too much more, but if you're a wrestling fan and you play wrestling games, chances are you have your own wrestling storylines. You have them. You know it. I have them too. I have a history with my character, Andrew the Main Event, Shelton, from way back to WrestleMania 15. My create the character he's been around a lot. He has been let me get this straight, uh, 4-time Intercontinental Champion, 4-time United States Champion, and he's current United States Champion, holding the title for 2 years. Yeah, I like to stroke my ego a bit. 3-time WWE champion, 2-time tag team champion, 2-time hardcore champion. So he's had a lot to his repertoire. And I have all this down on my computer. It's crazy. My friend does too. So we figured, why not we blend the universes together? So I think it's a pretty cool thing that we're doing. It's just something random that I wanted to bring up. But yeah, at my birthday party, going back to what I kind of want to talk about, we're going to have a Super Smash Bros. Melee tag tournament, a Super Smash Bros. Tournament, a wrestling tournament, a Mario Kart Double Dash tournament, a Mortal Kombat tournament, and then possibly a Soul Calibur tournament. It's going to be intense. Very intense. So it looks to be fun. We're also probably going to do some volleyball, a fire pit, and then basketball. So we'll see. Oh, and most importantly, we're doing an apples to apples showdown. I have at least 12 people going, plus. I know my friend's going to be bringing his girlfriend, and then my other friend's bringing his kid and his fiance. So we're going to have a good amount of people. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. A lot of people. So yeah, that's really all I have to say. There's nothing else. I'm considering a little random here. If you know anything about RPGing, I'm a big Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 guy. Love it, love it. I don't touch 4.0. I know a lot of people like 4.0. I don't touch 4.0. But D&D 3.5, that's my home. But I'm in waiting for the next version, which is 5.0 or D&D the next generation or whatever they want to call it. I'm kind of tempted to pick up Pathfinder and play Pathfinder. Tempted. I don't know if it'll happen, but I'm tempted. We'll see what goes down. I would not want to run the game. I would like someone else to run the game. We have another DM. We alternate between DM, so I get to play, but I get to DM too. Uh, but we'll see. Kind of in the Pathfinder mood. Random. So yeah, nothing else to really talk about. Got everything I wanted on my mind off my chest. Oh, by the way, lastly, to everyone that commented on my last What I Am Thinking, the personal one, thank you very much for your comments. It means a lot. Everything I said in that video was true. How I feel about YouTube, how I feel about you guys in general, how I feel about life. thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I said this to a lot of people, and I'll say this again. If anyone ever needs someone to talk to, or a friend or anything, I'm there. Even if you just send a message, I'm always here. The comic book community helps each other out, so I'm always there for anyone that needs it. That sounds really corny, very cheesy, but you know, Picard would do it. So would I. Anyways, I'm going to end this video here. Any questions, comments, feedback? Would you guys like me to do another Q&A? Let's do it here. Ask some questions here, and then I'll set up a video in like a day or two where you can ask more questions. But if you want to do a Q&A, ask some questions here, and I'll put them together. Because it's been a while, might as well do a Q&A, okay? So with that said, I'm going to end this video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.